What you are about to hear was never supposed to leak, but it did. And once you know it, you cannot unknow it. Hello, friends. My name is James, and you are watching Royal Daily Report, your number one source for the most exclusive, most shocking, and most talked about royal stories on the internet. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now because you do not want to miss what we have coming. And if you have been here from the beginning, you already know. We never stop. We never hold back. And tonight is no different. Let us get into it. They are going to Britain. The tickets are reportedly booked. The palace accommodation is reportedly arranged. The dates are confirmed, July 6th to 10th. Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lilibet, the entire Sussex family, together on British soil for the first time in 4 years. It should be a moment of joy, of healing, of hope. And according to sources speaking to IB Times UK, The Blast, and multiple royal outlets this week, inside the walls of their Montecito home, it has been anything but. Because Harry and Meghan, the couple who left Britain together saying they wanted peace, are reportedly at war with each other over this trip. Over the conditions. Over the spending. Over whether going back is even the right move at all. Tonight we are telling you the full verified story of the biggest tension inside the Sussex marriage right now. Not tabloid fabrication. Real sourced reporting from credible outlets published in the past 7 days. The conditions Harry reportedly demanded. The private jet row. The spending fight that sources describe as the couple being at war. And the one question sitting underneath all of it that nobody in Montecito wants to answer out loud. Are they actually on the same page about any of this? This is Royal Daily Report. And tonight, we are going inside the tension. Let us start with the conditions. Because this is where the story begins and where it gets immediately complicated. According to reporting by The Blast, published May 12, 2026, Prince Harry's upcoming return to the UK triggered fresh tension not just inside the Sussex household, but inside the palace itself. The report stated that Harry had issued what sources described as a string of conditions tied to Meghan's participation in the visit. Senior royals, according to insiders, were reportedly unhappy about those demands. The specific conditions were not fully disclosed in the reporting, but the language being used, a string of conditions, palace tension, senior royals unhappy, tells you something important about how this visit has been negotiated. This is not a family reunion that came together easily. It is not two sides warmly agreeing to set everything aside for the sake of the grandchildren. It is a carefully, painstakingly, and apparently contentiously negotiated arrangement in which Harry has been fighting for specific guarantees before Meghan and the children set foot on British soil. And the palace, while reportedly agreeing to an accommodation and a meeting with Charles, has its own reservations about the conditions being placed on what should, in theory, be a straightforward family trip. If you want to understand what is really driving the tension inside the Sussex household right now, subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now. Because what comes next is where this story gets genuinely revealing. Now let us talk about the fight that sources describe as the most significant internal tension between Harry and Meghan in months. IB Times UK, reporting on June 17, 2026, published a detailed account of what unnamed sources described as the couple being at war over plans to simplify their lives. And at the center of that war is money. According to those sources, Harry and Meghan are under mounting financial strain. Their lifestyle in California, a 9-bedroom, 16-bathroom Montecito estate with a swimming pool, a private rose garden, a play park, and extensive grounds, comes with costs that, according to royal author Tom Bower and multiple insiders, require them to generate millions of pounds annually just to sustain. And the income, according to the same reporting, has not been keeping pace with the spending. The Spotify deal is over. The Netflix deal has reportedly shifted significantly. As ever, Meghan's lifestyle brand has been reported to be sitting on hundreds of thousands of unsold products approaching expiration. And into this financial pressure comes the UK trip, which requires private jets, which requires enhanced security, which requires the kind of logistics that, according to one source who spoke to IB Times UK, the couple simply cannot currently afford at the level they were previously operating at. The source said something that stops you in your tracks. They said private jet travel is out of the question going forward. It is just not in the budget. Private jets, out of the budget. For the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Like this video right now if this is showing you a side of the Sussex situation that other channels are not covering honestly. And subscribe to Royal Daily Report, because what comes next is where the disagreement between Harry and Meghan becomes most visible. Here is where Harry and Meghan are reportedly pulling in opposite directions. And this is important to understand clearly, because the disagreement is not just about money. It is about strategy, about identity, about what the next chapter of their lives actually looks like. Harry's position, according to the IB Times UK sourcing from June 17th, is that he wants to simplify, step back, spend less, reduce the scale of the operation. He reportedly wants to focus on what genuinely matters to him: the Invictus Games, his relationship with his father, his children's connection to Britain, and strip away the expensive, high-maintenance lifestyle infrastructure that currently surrounds them. He wants, in the words of the source, to spend less and live more quietly. Meghan's position is different. She reportedly believes the answer to their financial pressure is not to cut back, but to work harder, to push the brand further, to keep building as ever, to maintain the visible, aspirational California lifestyle that the brand is built around. She reportedly does not want to scale back. She wants to scale up. And according to reporting in IB Times UK, Meghan is not keen on any soft reset with the royal family beyond commercial use of the title they once gave her. That sentence is striking. She is reportedly attending this UK trip. She is reportedly going to Britain for the first time in 4 years. But her motivation, according to this sourcing, is not reconciliation. It is not healing. It is commercial. The title still has value, and she intends to use it. Do not go anywhere. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report and turn on those notifications, because what comes next is about William, and his reaction to this visit has been described by royal commentators as furious. Let us talk about Prince William, because his position in this story is one that multiple outlets have now confirmed is a significant source of tension. IB Times UK, citing royal commentator and broadcaster Mark Dolan, reported that William would be deeply frustrated by the Sussex return. Dolan described it as a terrible blow for Team Wales. And royal expert Jenny Bond added something that reveals exactly how complicated this situation has become. She said King Charles will be wary in how he acts to avoid offending his other son William. Read that again. Charles is caught between wanting to see his grandchildren, which every available source confirms is genuine and deeply felt, and not wanting to further damage his relationship with William by appearing to welcome Harry and Meghan back too warmly. That is an impossible position for a father, and it explains why the palace's response to this visit has been so carefully managed. No official confirmation of a meeting with Charles. No statement from Buckingham Palace welcoming the Sussexes back. Just quiet, indirect reporting through insiders and sources, keeping everything deniable, keeping everything at arm's length, while privately the arrangement apparently moves forward. And William, according to one report, has branded Harry and Meghan's plans to potentially film during the UK visit as a personal attack. That allegation, that the Sussexes may be planning to film content during the trip, has not been officially confirmed. But its emergence in the reporting reveals something important. Even the possibility that this trip might generate Sussex content is enough to create a fresh layer of tension between the brothers. Now let us talk about the public, because here is a number that nobody in the Sussex camp is comfortable discussing. IB Times UK reported this week on a poll published by The Sun that asked British voters a specific question. Should King Charles meet his grandchildren Archie and Lilibet during the Sussex family's expected UK return? And the result was genuinely striking. 58.5% of respondents said no. Not because they do not care about the children, not because they want two small children to be kept from their grandfather, but because, as the poll option specifically put it, too much has happened. More than half of the British public, asked directly whether they support this family reunion, said the damage done over the past 4 years was too significant to set aside for a single visit. That is a number that the palace cannot ignore. And it is a number that William, watching from Kensington, is fully aware of. Because William's popularity in Britain is built partly on his contrast with Harry, on being the one who stayed, who served, who did not write the memoir or give the Oprah interview or launch the Netflix documentary. And a warm, visible reunion between Charles and the Sussex family, however genuine on both sides, risks blurring that contrast in a way that William reportedly finds deeply uncomfortable. Let us talk about what one royal commentator described as the central contradiction of this entire visit. IB Times UK, in a piece published just 2 days ago, framed it with a precision that deserves to be quoted directly. For years, Harry insisted it was not safe to bring his family to Britain. His legal team argued in court that he does not feel safe. He told ITV in 2024 that it was still dangerous and warned it would take only one lone actor to cause catastrophe. He told the BBC in May 2025 that he could not see a world in which he would bring his wife and children back to the UK. Those words were said. They are in the public record. They cannot be unsaid. And now, the same man who said all of those things is apparently bringing his wife and children to Britain in July. Which means one of two things must be true. Either the security situation has genuinely been resolved to Harry's satisfaction, which would be the most positive interpretation, or the things he said about the danger were exaggerated, which is the interpretation that one widely shared social media post captured perfectly this week. The post simply asked, "So is it safe now, or was it exaggerated before?" No clear answer from the Sussex camp, just the noise of two positions that cannot both be true. Here is what this story ultimately tells us about Harry and Meghan in June 2026. They are a couple attempting to navigate more simultaneous pressures than almost any two people in the public eye are managing right now. Financial strain that sources describe as genuine and mounting. A brand in difficulty. A marriage under pressure from two people who want different things from the next chapter. A family reunion that one of them reportedly wants for emotional reasons and the other reportedly views primarily through a commercial lens. A British public that is more divided than ever about whether they should be welcomed back. A brother who is reportedly furious. A father who is reportedly overjoyed. And two small children, 7 and 5 years old, who have no idea any of this is happening. Who just know that daddy says they are going somewhere new in July, and that their grandfather will be there. Whatever happens between now and July 10th, whatever tensions are resolved or unresolved, whatever conditions are met or not met, those two children are going to Britain. And that, underneath everything else, is the fact that matters most. This is Royal Daily Report, and we will be here for every single moment of what comes next. That is all for tonight, friends. I am James, and this has been Royal Daily Report. If this story hit different for you, hit that like button right now. Subscribe if you have not already, and turn on those notifications because we drop new stories every single week. Share this video with one friend who loves royal news. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay informed, stay curious, and stay royal. Goodbye, friends. Hello, friends. If you are not subscribed to Royal Daily Report yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button right now.